Hey everybody, SG Caper here. Picked up a couple things. Wanted to show you my thoughts, or share my thoughts, not show them to you. These are some new figures from the Batman movie line by Spin Master. Not looking forward to the movie at all. It hasn't done anything to, I haven't seen anything that sparks my interest. But I do like the figures. I picked up the Batmobile and posted my thoughts on that before. And I picked these up today. Went to Target. And they had about 20 of the Batman, but they had 2 of each of these. And I bought both Penguins and only one of the Selina Kyle. And I figure I'd give you my thoughts. So let's get going. We'll start with the Penguin. This is the packaging. You'll see, you know, nothing really important on the back, but a bunch of warnings. And like I said, I bought 2 and I already opened up one, so let's get to it. Has this card with it. Like a map. You stick it in there and it shows you a map. So cool. Kitschy for kids, clearly. Here we have the Penguin figure, stock articulation. It has no wrist articulation, no foot articulation, single elbow joint, standard shoulder, head back and forth, a little bit of up and down. Hips are ball jointed with a thigh turn. With the figure this big though, the thigh turn is kind of goofy. You can see that if you turn his thigh, now it's all just weird. Single knee turns. Not a lot of range of motion there. Doesn't really go back. You have to cut here to bring his knee up farther. The range of motion on the elbows is kind of limited. Doesn't go all the way up. And yeah, looks very, just kind of, it's not a bad figure. It's just very boring, kind of bland. This doesn't scream Penguin to me. It just doesn't. And when I think of the Penguin, I think of that's the Penguin. This is not. This is just some big dude with a tie. I mean, he could be a cop, you know, he could be a detective, he could be, if you're familiar with Spawn, he could be, there's characters in there, Sam and Twitch, he could be Sam. I mean, he's very generic looking. There's nothing about him that says Penguin to me. This is the Penguin to me. When I think of the Penguin, that's the figure I think of. Accessories, there's a suitcase. It opens, and inside there is a block that is supposed to be money. Okay, I guess. And I mean, the Pimp Daddy Destro has better money you could use, I guess. But this is, it's fine. The sculpting on this is fine. There's some like dents and dings and stuff, but it's another suitcase to add. The little tasers, fine. Looks like a taser. Bright red. Let's see. Can you hold it? You can hold it, but you know, posing is very limited because of the articulation. So maybe give him one of those. All right. Doesn't come with anything to hold it in. I guess you could maybe put it in here. Let's see if it'll fit with the money. Probably not. Yeah. It won't fit with the money, but if you take the money out, then it'll fit. So there you go. The hands are very stiff. They don't bend. There's not a lot of bend. and it's hard to get these things in, so I feel like people are gonna probably end up with broken thumbs. I already plan on cutting these off, drilling into the wrists, and adding a different set of hands for the guided articulation. Paint is fine, except around the wrists. Some of the paint on the shirt, it's whatever. Very basic. All right. I don't like that. That is a giant umbrella. And it's just, I don't know. Doesn't work for me. And then, let's see, can you hold it? Kind of hold it. You can have them hold it like this. You know. Decent sculpting. I like that it's a bigger body type. There's no waist articulation of any kind. This feels like just a hollow piece of plastic. But we don't get a lot of larger body types. We get a lot of, they're all the same size. You might vary in height, but this I can see being used for a lot of stuff. The pinstripes on the pants are part of the mold. They're not painted. But if you could find a coat to go over this, maybe give them a hat, make them a little different. Not a bad figure. Good for customizing. It's just not, it's not the Penguin for me. So there's that, the Penguin, I guess. And then I have Catwoman. Open this up. She also comes with a little card, and you can already see what it's going to be, like this, and you put it in here and all the red lines disappear, and oh, look at that, it's the bat bike. Alright, she's got a whip. I'm never a fan of these kinds of molded whips because they're always molded in just like, how am I supposed to, what am I supposed to do with that? Some gloves. The knife is cool. I like the knife. Kind of a cat's claw knife. Now, I saw someone else complain about this, and the legs are a little wonky. They are a little bow-legged. It's not terrible, but it really shouldn't be bow-legged. You can heat them up and adjust them or whatever, but yeah. All right, articulation, normal shoulders, single elbow. Again, nothing at the wrists. I would cut them off, drill it out, and add hands off of a Marauder Valkyrie figure head. It's a little sticky with its movement, but yeah, not really up down, but left and right are fine. Hips, ball joints, same hip cut, single knee, nothing at the feet. Do the same thing, cut them off and add some Marauder Valkyrie feet. Very plain looking figure, no waist articulation of any kind. Decent knee movement, articulation, decent. But this figure will never be Catwoman to me. My Catwoman is Michelle Pfeiffer, and I'm not gonna go digging for the figure. I don't know where it is. But if you're making a figure, you want to like add another Black Widow and not use that same Black Widow buck. This body is plain enough that you could add whatever accessories you wanted, and it would work. Swap the head, whole new figure, and pretty fast. All right, So these claws have a peg, and I'm going to assume that she's supposed to hold them, which is just ridiculous. I mean, they're giant claws, and like if she's supposed to hold them, I can't see any other way that these would be useful with those pegs. That's just a really dumb play feature. I like the gloves. I don't have a problem with the gloves. These, like, they're not even claws. They're just gloves. What I would do is cut this little peg out, maybe with some green stuff, fill this in, make it look like a palm, and then use these on another figure completely. The knife is fine. I actually like the knife, but it's a little big for her. It's like a freaking short sword or something. But it's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Not a fan of the molded whips. Never have been. Even the Indiana Jones, and they're always molded in this weird way. Like, what is she supposed to be doing with this? Like, I don't know. Not a fan. The paint on the faces of both of these are just very bland. Nothing to write home about. Her lips are done. You know, eyebrows and eyes. His lips aren't. Big, thick eyebrows. Heads are sculpted fine. I do like the size difference between them, but I don't understand why he's so tall. I don't get it. Either she's really, and I mean, she's wearing heels too, right? So she would be really short. I think of the Penguin as being short. But then when I compare it to, where did I put that other Penguin figure? I don't know. When I did this side by side with the other Penguin figure, they're about the same height. But this one's a little less cartoony. These have the Fortnite issue, which is they just feel cartoony. They feel like they're made for little kids, and they are. Like, let's face facts. These are made for kids that might go see the movie. They're not made for collectors compared to, like, this is a figure I've been working on. I mean, this guy's about the same height as a bat, but the sculpting is much better on the G.I. Joes, obviously. But at the same time, it doesn't even, like, sculpt-wise, they don't even, like, when a Dollar Tree figure, minus the head, when the Dollar Tree figure sculpting is better than I paid $8.99 for them, there's a problem. A dollar figure shouldn't be better sculpted than, they're $10.99 at my local Target, but I got them the price match Target.com for $8.99. I don't know. I have plans for this, so I'm glad I bought it, but I won't be buying any more of these. Same thing with this, very bland. But like I said, it's generic. You can use it for whatever. It kind of reminds me of the Agent Annika figures. I don't know if any of you are familiar with those. They were by Spy Gurus, I think. It's very similar look, except that figure had very ample bosom compared to this. So there you go. Some decent figures. Not bad. I wouldn't pay $10.99 for them, but the $8.99 I was fine with. The accessories are fine. The little evidence cards are cool for kids, and that's what these are for. They're not for us. They're for kids. All right, everybody. There you go. Take it easy.